Yeah, it was a good little hit out today. It was nice and warm, so I sort of sweated it out as well. So it was nice to get bat back in hand and have a hit and get the feel of it all again, I suppose.
Just having a particular T20 national record, great one day level and shield level and stuff. Probably not as good as those unfair hacks. What do you put that for?
Not really sure. Probably not playing as much and not probably playing as consistently as probably the other formats. I think one day cricket we play a lot of it, and you get used to your role in that team. And I think with T20 we've probably played it quite sparingly as a team in international level, and it's probably been the T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka, T20 World Cup in Bangladesh that we've probably played only a few games in a row where you can sort of get a roll on. And yeah, that's probably a bit why. I think at the start of my career as a bits and pieces player as well, bat a bit lower down the order and probably bowling a little bit more as well.
Having some bad first tournament was the 2014 World T20 and so the 2015 World Cup. We were a big tournament player, big fan.
I like where you're going with this. I'd like to think I'm just a handy player in our team. I wouldn't say I'm a big game player. I feel like I just try and play the role in my team as well as I can, no matter what the tournament. I don't think you have to try and get yourself up any more for different tournaments. I just think every game you get for your country is just as important as any other.
And where do you see yourself as the world convention? I don't think position, but where do you see yourself in this range?
Yeah, we've got a pretty heavy batting order that everyone's sort of fighting for a spot in. So probably, hopefully, around that, I think 4 or 5 spot, depending on situation. I think is going to happen a lot as well with the situation of the game as well. So I think if we're going pretty well, I'll probably be pushed up the order a little bit to hopefully try and combat the spinners, and I think that's going to be pretty key leading to the big tournament.
You've seen quite a few of the celebrities over the years in the IPL. I was setting on the second weeks. Of the younger guys, do you see his potential there during the year and going to the World Cup?
Yeah, well, I've been watching a fair bit of the stuff back home from what's going on in the last series, and I saw Rabada bowl really well in obviously the Tests and the shorter formats against England, and was really impressed. He bowled quite well and bowled really aggressively, and yeah, I've been watching pretty closely, and he's been playing really well. So he's someone that we have to play well against. And Kyle Abbott, I've had a fair bit to do with Hampshire. We played for a season together there, and now he's at Kings 11 as well. So I've seen a lot of his death bowling, and it's outstanding. He hits his Yorkers really consistently, and any guy like that in your team is really handy. So we're going to have to find a way to combat that as well.
And David Miller as well.
Yeah, David Miller. I didn't want to mention him.
Did this IPL Australian South Africa have a bit of a forced relationship in the last couple of years? But I think IPL has maybe calmed those a little bit because they also play with David and something else.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've built really good friendships off the field, and I've been staying in contact with Davey Miller for the last few years as soon as we started playing together, and you always keep a track of how each other's going, and yeah, I think you go back to that interview I had with Virat the other day. There's no way we would have been able to do that without the IPL and the friendships that you actually do build off the field, and I think that's a great thing about it, with international players being able to play together. And you obviously saw the PSL recently with a lot of older international players coming together, which was really amazing. So hopefully it keeps happening in the future.
How tested are these friendships by the heat of international comment? How much were tested those friendships going through if you pull the heat of international comment?
I don't think you can still have your friendships off the field, but I think as soon as you cross the white line, you're playing the game, you're still playing for the badge that you're wearing on your shirt. So I think you've still got that hunger and drive to win the game for your team, and put your personal friendships aside, and just leave whatever's happened on the field. And I think all the teams have been really good at doing that since obviously the IPL started, and you form these friendships. And I think players are getting better at leaving stuff on the field and not holding personal grudges or anything like that off the field as well. Yeah, he's been outstanding. He's he's very experienced. It's probably why I didn't mention when he said younger blokes. He's an outstanding bowler. He's been very successful, and he played really well in the IPL last year. I think that was a big thing for him, for his confidence, I think, as well. And I think he's been riding that since. He's been really good for South Africa, been very consistent. But yeah, I think any time a leg spinner's bowling well for your team, I think it's a massive boost. It's so much different to every other spinner. It's a tough start, and if you've got a guy bowling it really well, really consistently, and performing really consistently, it's such a hard thing to stop. And he seems to grab the momentum back for South Africa every time he comes on, and just finds a way of getting a wicket for his team.
Yeah, it's going to be Australia's biggest danger in the World T20 comebacks.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty fair. I think our records haven't been great, I suppose, in the subcontinent, playing excellent spin, or the top spinners in the world, and you've only got to look back at our last performance in 2014 in Bangladesh, and I think Ajmal, Freedy, Narayan, all these sorts of guys are the top class spinners we struggled against. So that's going to be a massive thing. I think it is a big focus for us to be better at that, and I think if you look at our batting order, it's suited to hopefully combat that. We've got excellent players that spin in our team, and guys that have got international experience over here as well, so, and over in India. So it's going to be pretty key for us to have those guys perform really well for us and combat the spin in the other teams. Good question. I haven't really looked at any of his T20 footage. I've played against him a couple of times in T20, but I suppose just matters on the situation. He's obviously an excellent performer, and he's got the ability to swing the ball with the cross seam as well, which is an unbelievable skill. And to combat a guy like that, you've just got to try and pick your areas and just go for him. I think it's a thing we've probably been built into the Australian team just to back ourselves non-stop, and I'm sure guys that do get the chance to play against him and try and take him on, they'll be backed by the team non-stop.
What would you put your finger on in terms of the reasons for the defeat against India recently? Do you think it's just that you guys haven't been playing enough T20 cricket and you just need to groove combinations a bit more?
Yeah, I think it felt like the Indian series we were sort of trial and erroring a lot of players, and I suppose that's hard when a lot of guys are fighting for their spots. There was a lot of debutants in that series, and I think for the young guys, they know that they've only got one or two opportunities to impress before the big tournament. I think that put a little bit of pressure on those guys, and the result probably didn't go away. I think we learned a bit about younger guys and how they go. I think there were some really good signs from them. I think the way that Head and Lynn have hit the ball all season, it's been exciting, and hopefully they'll get a few more chances in the future. But we probably didn't play our main team at any stage, so I suppose it's an exciting thing that we've got so much improvement. I think we made 205 or something like that in the last game and still lost, but it's exciting that we can get better from that, and hopefully when we hit Durban on Friday night, and we can really show that with the number one side and hit the ground all guns blazing.